Dear friends, good morning to all of you. I am sure you might have heard about boys who are not able to go to school and they are made to work long hours in hotels or shops. Again, you might have seen or heard about some married women beaten and insulted by their husbands. You might have heard of some shopkeepers selling drugs in different forms to students. Can we do something to stop this cruelty and injustice? Yes, we can stop such exploitations and abuses if we know that there are laws and fundamental rights, and we can apply these laws to protect ourselves and others. Therefore, we are going to discuss about laws and fundamental rights which are very useful to get protection from injustice and exploitation. So, our topic today is legal consciousness. It means awareness of laws and rights. Let us see, what is law or justice? When I ask this question, suddenly in your mind there may appear a picture of a blindfolded lady with a pair of scales and a sword. As we all know, she is Lady Justice, the famous legal symbol. In Greek mythology, she was goddess Themis, the goddess of good counsel. And for Romans, she was Justitia, the goddess of justice. But the interesting fact is that all these personifications began with the ancient Egyptian goddess Mat, the goddess of harmony and order. Again, you have heard of Manusmriti. The laws of Manu is the most important and authoritative Hindu law book. The ancient Indians believed in the order and regularity of the world as a manifestation of God's will and intent. According to them, the social order was the clear victory of the divine force over evil. Law brings order and harmony in society. If there were no laws, we could do anything we wished and we would live in a situation called anarchy. Hence, law is order and good law is good order. There are rules that bind all people living in a community and are indeed needed for a peaceful society to protect our general safety and ensure our rights as citizens against exploitation by other people. My dear students, I am sure you have heard about Pandora's box and the butterfly. The Greek gods were once angry at Prometheus as he stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans. One day, the gods created a beautiful woman named Pandora and took her to Prometheus. But he was frightened that the gods were trying to trick him and decided to ignore her. But his brother took her as wife and they were living happily in his house. One day, Mercury, the messenger of gods, arrived with a mysterious box and asked Pandora to take care of it and never to look inside. But Pandora could not take her eyes off the box and she secretly opened it. But what she found inside was all the evils now known to mankind. They all came out and filled the place. Seeing this, she screamed with pain and fear. Between her screams, she heard a tiny little voice calling from the box, "Let me out, please let me out." What she found inside was a small, beautiful butterfly. It unfolded its sparkling wings and brushed them against Pandora, healing her wounds. That small butterfly was hidden by Mercury amongst the evils, taking pity on mankind when he realized what the gods were caught up. Dear friends, when faced with any kind of harassment and discriminations and injustice, we often find ourselves reluctant to go for legal action because we think the laws are magisterial and remote, or because we see laws are very troublesome and will not give us any relief. But like the butterfly hidden by Mercury in the Pandora box, laws are made to protect us from the evils. This realization would make us brave enough to use them to its fullest. For this reason, the knowledge of laws and how we perceive it and translate it into our actions is a significant need in our lives. Again, you might have seen a special symbol, the sword and the shield. Have you heard of the word avidya? In Buddhism, we often come across this word, which means lack of knowledge or ignorance. Buddha identified ignorance as one of the 4 floods of suffering in human lives. Many a time, the reason for the sufferings in our civic life is the ignorance of laws and have been made for our well-being. A famous saying goes like this: ignorance of law excuses no one. Dear friends, another important aspects that you should be aware is about our fundamental rights. Our Indian Constitution has recognized some fundamental rights. Every one of us should know which are these fundamental rights. There are 7 of them. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, right to life, and finally, right to education. Have you ever thought of using it as a sword and a shield to fight against the wrong being done to us and others in the society? If we move with the law and fruitfully use our fundamental rights, we could certainly maintain a peaceful and well-balanced atmosphere around us, where everyone would respect each other and where prosperity and goodness would abound. Plato says, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of light. Another very important truth we should be aware of is about writs, W-R-I-T-S, writs. The Indian Constitution empowers the Supreme Court and the High Courts to issue writs for enforcement of any of the fundamental rights. It's a provision that makes available the rights of constitutional remedies to every citizen. There are 5 types of writs. Number 1, habeas corpus. It means you may have a body. It is a Latin phrase. It means that a person who has been detained, whether in prison or in private custody, before a court, and to release him if such detention is found illegal. And second writ is mandamus. Again in Latin, it means we command. This writ is ordered when any government or lower court or corporation, public authority has to do a public duty but fails to do so. And third one is certiorari. It literally means to be more fully informed of. This is issued to quash the order already passed by an inferior court authority. And fourth writ is prohibition. Writ of prohibition is popularly known as stay order. After the issue of this writ, proceedings in the lower court come to a stop. And last one, quo warranto. This word means by what warrants or what is your authority. This is issued to stop a person or restrain him from holding the office which he has no authority to hold. This also requires the concerned person to explain to the court by what authority he holds the office. Dear friends, now let us have a positive attitude towards laws and towards being a positive citizen. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has beautifully addressed this issue. He says, take a person on his way to Singapore, give him a name and let that be you. Suppose you are going and what is his place? It is your place, yours. When you go to Singapore, you don't throw cigarette butts on the roads there. You would not dare to speed beyond 55 miles per hour in Washington. You wouldn't throw an empty coconut shell anywhere other than the garbage pail on the beaches in Australia and New Zealand. Then why don't you spit pan on the streets of Tokyo? We are still talking of the same you. And you who can respect and conform to a foreign system in other countries but cannot in your own. You will throw papers and cigarettes on the road the moment you touch Indian ground. If you can be a responsible citizen in an alien country, why cannot you be the same here in India? You say that the municipality does not pick up the garbage. You say that our laws are too old. You say that our government is inefficient. You say and say and say. What do you do about it? These are the words of APJ Abdul Kalam. Again, Aristotle says a very meaningful statement. The precepts of the law may be comprehended under these 3 points: to live honestly, to hurt no man willfully, and to render every man his due carefully. Dear students, I am going to give you something to do. Ask yourself this important question. Have you ever acknowledged your moral obligations and responsibilities towards the nation? How would you assess yourselves in respecting the traffic rules, proper disposal of waste, keeping public property clean, etc.? And I would also ask you to find out for yourselves which are the fundamental duties of an Indian citizen. This is a small homework for you. There are 11 duties. Try to find out which are the 11 duties of an Indian citizen. Hope you understood the importance of law, and we shall discuss further in the class. Thank you. Have a nice day.